The Antilles Fisheries Patrol Boat is famous in the Western Indian Ocean. It used to be a Spanish-owned tuna vessel, but was caught fishing illegally and seized by the Mozambican government. Since 2012, it has been used in fisheries enforcement. The Antilles is one of only a handful of ocean-going patrol boats deployed to police the region's lucrative industrial tuna fishery. The coastal states of Southeast Africa have combined waters or exclusive economic zones spanning almost 5 million square kilometres, an area the size of the entire landmass of the European Union. Limited financial and human resources add up to an enormous challenge for those trying to keep tabs on who is fishing for what and where.
Having patrol vessels or asset is a big problem or constraints for many developing countries. They have claimed huge areas, huge EEZ, but they have no assets to monitor those EEZ.
The Indian Ocean tuna fishery accounts for 1/5 of the global tuna catch, taken by a mostly foreign-flagged industrial fleet. Like all high-value commodities, tuna here is prey to criminal operators, stealing a resource they are not entitled to. Illegal fishing occurs mainly within coastal waters or EEZs, and the African non-profit organisation Stop Illegal Fishing estimates up to 1 in 4 fish caught off African coasts is taken illegally.
Illegal fishing has brought a lot of disastrous effects in that food security has been threatened, employment, revenue to the governments, and the general marine environmental destruction. If this plague is not stopped immediately, there is going to be disaster.
These guys do not see fish as a food stuff or feeding people. They see it as a trading commodity, like any other commodity, be it gold, be it logs, be it diamonds, and they see it as a way of earning an income. And the more they make out of it, the more greedy they become.
Fisheries experts all agree that one key to beating the tuna thieves is cooperation. Countries sharing information to zero in on suspect vessels and joining forces to act. A pioneer project involving 7 Southeast African coastal states is doing just that. Fish Eye Africa involves dedicated fisheries enforcement officers from Comoros, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles and Tanzania, all swapping data in a way they never have before in a bid to identify and punish criminal fishers. Aided by fisheries tracking specialists using satellite technology and data analysis, and using a real-time data sharing tool, a task force of national officials is able to communicate directly about suspect vessels and prepare accordingly if one is headed their way. The project, supported by Stop Illegal Fishing and the Pew Charitable Trusts, as well as other regional partners, relies on a strong network of local relationships and a basic principle of trust. This initiative is groundbreaking in many ways.
Fishing is a very highly commercial activity, and it is the secret of fishing. Fishermen don't want you to know their location, don't want you to share the information with others. I think it sends a strong signal to all the operators out there that there is collaboration that is happening amongst the countries of the region, and the countries are working together to fight against IUU fishing. And now there's no port of convenience that a vessel can go and try and unload its catch, because the network is helping to share this information all around.
Members of the Fish Eye Task Force can go online to request information on a vessel, learn if it is licensed to fish in a neighbour's waters, and whether it has any record of illicit operations or ties to companies known to have engaged in IUU fishing. In the past, such requests would have gone through each country's Foreign Affairs Department, and data on national vessel lists would often be seen as too sensitive to share. But Fish Eye countries have agreed to simplify protocols and pool what they know.
The new elements about fish eye is that before we were talking the talk, we were acting individually, but it was like we were all shooting in the dark. We were not seeing, we were not knowing, we were not in the know of the whole picture. Now, the illegal fisher would play one against the other, would move from port to port and be clean at one port and be an illegal fisher at the other. This is not anymore possible, acceptable, and we have acted upon that.
The Fish Eye Task Force was quickly put to the test in a major international illegal fishing case, with implications far beyond the Indian Ocean, demanding cooperation not just regionally, but between East and West Africa. Specialist satellite monitoring identified suspected illegal fishing by a South Korean tuna vessel, the Premier, in the coastal waters of Liberia.
Satellite tracks show that the Premier was fishing in the mid-Atlantic through 2011 and 2012, including in the Liberian zone, Liberia waters, where there was a moratorium on fishing at that time. There was no industrial fishing allowed in Liberia. And the satellite tracks show that the vessel was there in November and December 2011 and in April, May 2012. And this was clearly illegal.
Late in 2012, the Premier left the Atlantic and went round the Cape to the Indian Ocean, where it arrived in Port Louis, Mauritius in December. Fish Eye's information sharing had alerted officials there that Liberia was investigating the Premier's suspected wrongdoing.
The government of Liberia requested the government of Mauritius that a vessel named Premier was about to call at Mauritius and to board the vessels and collect all documents on the ground that the vessel had been fishing in the EZ of Liberia. Our enforcement officers boarded the vessels and collected the fishing license, the logbook, the crew list and all related documents.
The inspection revealed the hold of the Premier was almost full, with about 1,000 tons of fish on board, estimated value $2.5 million. When Liberia saw the documents, the suspicions were confirmed. The logbook showed the fishing activity in its waters. The license was fake, using what experts described as a very poor forgery of the official stamp of the Liberian National Bureau of Fisheries, or BNF. In March 2013, the Premier arrived in the Seychelles, where it requested permission to offload its valuable catch.
From the network Fish Eye, we got the information that actually that vessel, Premier, was heading towards our port. So it was good information. When the vessel came to our port, we inspected the vessel, we got the documents that they had on board, and we had enough information to deny the vessel access to unload in our port. Then the immediate things that we did was to inform all of the members in the Fish Eye project that the vessel had come to our port so that they can look out for the vessel in the event that it tries to do the same in their port.
Between January and April 2013, Fish Eye partner countries united to deny the Premier unloading and fishing rights. Kenya's dealings with the fishing company uncovered further surprises when officials pressed the vessel's agent for assurances that the matter with Liberia had been resolved.
Then I asked the agent, why were they fishing in West African waters without a license? They said they have sorted out that issue and they have licenses. Then I asked him, why don't you furnish the licenses to me if that is true? That is when he furnished me with the licenses. I also asked him, and have you finished the case? Then he also submitted documents confirming they have finished the case with the Liberian authorities.
The documents were letters, purportedly from Liberian authorities, stating that the Premier was cleared of any wrongdoing. Fish Eye's analysts helped confirm that the letters and the licenses were again forgeries, using the same fake official BNF stamp. In April 2013, the Premier returned to Mauritius, again requesting to offload its catch. Mauritian port officials denied this request. Growing publicity about the case and Fish Eye's actions prompted a peaceful protest against the vessel by activists. Shortly after, Premier's owners Dongwon Industries paid a $2 million out-of-court settlement to Liberia for illegal fishing by the Premier and another vessel. Officials in the European Union issued warnings about the catch entering the supply chain, which resulted in Dongwon finding it harder to secure a buyer for the tainted fish. For Liberia, the cooperation with states on the east coast was invaluable in forcing Dongwon's hand.
The Premier is a historic case for Liberia. It was actually our first IUU case. Not for the cooperation we received from the East African group through the Fish Eye, we really wouldn't have achieved what we did.
For the Fish Eye network, the lessons of the case are clear, and the message to would-be criminal fishers clearer still.
The only way you can fish in our EZ is to be compliant, be legal, and then we can cooperate in a sustainable fishing. We want regulated, monitored fishing in our ocean. We want legal fishers in the oceans that do pay their license fees, that do pay their taxes, that do treat their personnel with the way they are expected to.
Fish Eye's current and future success hinges on robust political backing within the member countries. This is vital to strengthen the hand of fisheries departments, as illegal operators often press hard to have bureaucrats act in their favour.
I have knowledge of cases where fishery officials have been pressurized by agents or by company owners to issue licenses. I've known instances where companies have taken fishery officials to court to try and pressure them into getting license. And these guys are government employees that earn a lot and they're scared.
If politicians like me and the others all over the world, all over the countries, would enforce those which are in the front line combating IU, and they feel that they've got a political support, a strong political support, they are much committed than when they are not, they don't get this support.
Enforcement officials know they will never catch and prosecute all illegal operators. But cooperation to identify and inspect suspect vessels and deny offloading rights and licenses can greatly increase the cost for unscrupulous companies to operate and get their fish to market.
Well, Fish Eye is a new model for protecting offshore resources around the globe. It proves if you share information between countries and then consider it as a whole, you can act more effectively against illegal activity. It makes it more difficult for a vessel to use red tape or slip away between international boundaries. And for me, Fish Eye is definitely stopping illegal fish entering the market.
All task force members agree that the Fish Eye model could work in other regions within Africa, or even in other parts of the world, offering a low-cost enforcement solution which has teeth.
Fish Eye, I would say, from my experience in the field for 39 years, is the cheapest but the most effective method I ever saw anywhere. You know exactly where the illegal operator is. You know the next move of the illegal operator. Before it was hunting, and you hunted without knowing where you are going to end with the meager resources. Lots of times millions of dollars were used without any results, but now we are getting results almost cost-free.
For the fishermen of Southeast Africa, what matters is that they, their children and grandchildren can go on fishing a healthy, productive ocean. Getting to grips with illegal operators and any other unsustainable fishing boils down to a stark and very simple issue: food and economic security.
Samba na pokende batelango baleki no kibaki makelasi na boye mama botanga ya no baki nanga boye samba na kokufa batelango baleki no kibaki makelasi na boye yeah